Welcome back to FM Story. We're about to embark on season 16 of the South American Glory Hunt Save, so we've got 5 seasons left. And we need to secure the league and the cup in Uruguay and the cup in Brazil to complete the save. We managed to complete Colombia in season 15 and then spent the second half of the season unemployed because no jobs really came up in Uruguay or Brazil, which means we're starting season 16 unemployed and we'll have to see how long it takes us to pick up a job. So without further ado, let's get into the action. And so, after over 12 months, we finally have a new job. It has taken forever for any jobs to pop up in Uruguay and Brazil this season. The only jobs that popped up in Brazil were clubs that were already out of the Copa de Brazil, and it seemed like a bit of a waste to join them when there was some jobs of it potentially going to come available in Uruguay. There was a couple of jobs, the Cerro job and the Penarol job. Both were insecure for a serious amount of time. Then they lost a couple more games, then they became secure again. Cerrito became available because their manager left to go and take a job at a new club. Not the biggest of clubs will struggle to challenge for trophies with them. However, they finished in 6th place in the opening stage of the league season and they made the final of the Intermedio competition. So competition-wise, obviously the Copa Uruguay hasn't started yet, which is a good thing, gives us a chance of potentially winning that this season. And then the Intermedio, which is what's showing there, they're in the final of that, having finished top of their group, which included the likes of Danubio and Penarol and River Plate. We're playing against Montevideo City Torque in the final, who finished ahead of Wanderers, Nacional and Phoenix in the other group. As we said, looking at the opening stage of the season, they finished 6th with 24 points from 15 games, so relatively decent. And we need to find a way to do something this season. Looking at the overall table, they're 3rd because of that good run in Intermedio. We're going to have a bit of a task ahead of ourselves, and hopefully we can start quickly. We've got 2 days to prepare for the final of the Copa of the Intermedio final, and we are getting thrown in at the deep end a bit here, and we did lose 3-0 in the opening stage against Torque, but we are at home in this game and hopefully we can turn things around and get off to a flying start. So it's time for our first game in Uruguay, first game in charge of Cerrito, and it is the Torneo Intermedio final against Montevideo City. And yeah, we've had 2 days with the team. No idea what we've got in terms of the squad so far. So it's pretty much probably going to be a bit hit and miss. What we've decided to start with is the 4-3-3 that we ended our time at Millonarios with, but I think looking at the squad, we might not have the players for this, so we might need to switch it up once we get past this game. Right, a corner for them early on. We've got a head on it, but it's come back down. And we're immediately 1-0 down. Not the best of starts at all. Just headed straight up in the air practically. It takes a touch, flies it through the crowd of bodies and into the back of the net. And now very little's happening in this first half since the goal. And there we are, half time. A pretty lacklustre first half. Completely there with just the one highlight being the goal that they scored after 3 minutes, but we might need to switch things up here at half time. Right, so we made one change at half time and we've switched things up to change the formation around a bit to see how that works. Still no more highlights. Right, so we made some more changes to get some fresh legs on, see if we can create anything in this half. We've got to throw Marquez to Advaldo. Marquez finds Beltran. Marquez to Advaldo, shifts it, and it finds the back of the net and makes it 1-1. First time we see ourselves as an attacking threat, and we've got a goal. Nice play on the right between Beltran, Marquez, and Advaldo, and he just lets it run across his body, goes past the defender, and it might have got a nick on its way past the keeper. But from the kickoff, and they've gone over the top of the fullback. I mean, just a simple ball. The cross comes in, and it's Wanderson that heads off the inside of our bar to put them back in front. A goal kick for them. Oh, we've won it. Caballero still has it into the box, pulls it back, again pulled back, and they've managed to scramble it away. There we are, full-time defeat in our first match. I think we know from the first half that the 4-3-3 is not going to work. It's just then a question of, or certainly that 4-3-3 with the three central strikers isn't going to work. It's just a question of what we do from here with what we've got in the squad. I think we've got a bit of time before the next game, which I think is the Copa Colombia coming up in August. But we need to go back to the drawing board on tactics and formation, I think. So it's time for our second game in charge of Cerrito. Another home game, this time in the Copa Uruguay against Nacional. So this is going to be a big, big test. We have switched the formation up from where we started the last game. We're going with a 4-3-3. Hopefully we can be solid enough, but hopefully we can create a bit more like we did in the second half when we brought the wide players on in the first game. Very little happening early on. We've had a lot of the ball, though. A free kick for them. And the keeper does well to turn it behind for a corner. It's going to be an in-swinger. We've got a head on it, but it's gone back to the corner taker and nothing comes of it. Right, they've definitely come more into the game now. They're getting more possession. Now they're attacking on the right-hand side. And pull back. We missed the interception, but luckily the shot goes wide of the post. Another corner for them. They certainly seem to be dominating a bit now. And a free header, basically. He got the run on the defenders. Powers the header in. And we're 1-0 down again. I mean, he gets in front of and above three of our defenders in a line there. Another corner. This time we get our head on it, but it's still alive. And that's a screamer of a finish. And we're 2-0 down on the stroke of half time. And yeah, things are not looking particularly good. From the kickoff, we've gone back to Wanderson at centre half. We moved it out to Fernandez. Caballero gives it away, but wins it back. And then gives it away again. Perez wins it back. Ponti. We are not very good. I managed to cut that one out. Ponti. We seem to be having a problem passing the ball to players wearing the same shirt. We're just constantly passing the ball straight to them. And there we are, 3-0 down at half time. We've not seen anything of us from an attacking point of view. And we cannot pass the ball to ourselves to save our lives. Right, we've given a bit of a tweak to the formation, but there's not an awful lot, I don't think, that we can change in this game. Right, free kick for us, though. Caballero to take it. Gets it over the wall, but over the bar as well. Header over the top for them. We've now made some more changes to get some fresh legs and see if we can change something in the last quarter of an hour here. Corner, Mendoza to take it. Into the near post. Still alive. We've hit the post. And it's clear it's just not our day today. Throw Advaldo to Fernandez. And the ball over the top. And they're in behind again. So, we're going out of the Copa Uruguay. We're about to start the closing stage of the league. And between two games, and I have absolutely no idea what formation we need to be playing with this squad. We've only got a couple of days before the league campaign kicks off again, but plenty of work to do because none of the tactics we've used anywhere else look like they're going to pay dividends here. And there we are, the end of another episode. We've started season 16. In fact, we're over halfway through season 16. We finally managed to get a job, and it's in Uruguay. Things haven't started well with those first two games, but we need to go back to the drawing board, find a formation and style of play that works, and hopefully we can do better in the closing stage of the league phase, which starts soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.